Hello everybody and welcome back to a new video. So I am extremely excited for today's video because today is the 1 year anniversary of the pandemic. And 1 year ago on March 13th, 2020, I recorded a video diary about the pandemic and everything that was going on at the time. I figured it would be a cool artifact to look back on in the future, and I recently found that video. So today we're going to react to it. So for proof that this was recorded 1 year ago, I'd like to point out a few things. One, you'll notice that my voice is a little deeper in this video than it was in that video because I was 15 when I recorded that and I'm 16 now. Also, my acne is much better now, my hair is shorter, and here's proof of when it was edited. It was recorded on March 13th, but it says March 15th. That's just because I finished editing it on the 15th. Also, I don't know why I used iMovie. I use mainly Premiere now. But yeah, it's been a long year, and I'm really excited to see this. Hello everybody, I'm HBL from HBL TV, and welcome back to a new video. I was planning on recording a normal video today, but I don't know, my mind's been occupied lately, and by the elephant in the room, which is the whole coronavirus, and I just kind of wanted to make a video talking about it. This whole thing is so weird to me because it's like the middle of March right now, and it's crazy how quickly this whole thing has progressed. Like, my school just got shut down. We have school today, but my parents didn't let me go. And even after school opens again, they don't know if they want me going, so I might not be leaving the house for the rest of the month. Oh, that's something I remember very vividly. The idea of, like, what if we don't leave the house for the rest of the month? I don't think any of us realized how long this was gonna go on. I think we all thought things would be back to normal by, like, April or May. And it's crazy that this is, like, still a thing. And I'm not blaming anyone, but it's, like, you know, partly because y'all didn't wear your masks. But yeah, it is kind of sad to see because this had the potential to only be a 2 or 3 week thing, and it just got dragged out so much. I know I seem pretty calm right now, but I am very scared. It's like, how did this happen? This is nobody's fault. I don't like that people on social media are blaming people, but what I've been thinking about through all this is, what is gonna happen next? What's going to happen next? I'll tell you. It's gonna get a lot worse, and then it's gonna get better, and then it's gonna get worse again, and now it's kind of getting better. This whole thing has been a real roller coaster. I don't know. I mean, with the vaccine, things are getting better now, so that's nice. I think a year ago I wouldn't have thought that the vaccine was coming this soon, and I'm obviously very grateful for that, because I don't know if this makes sense, but for the past week, it seems like time has been moving in slow motion, but also extremely fast at the same time. And I say that because we're constantly getting new information about this whole situation, but also, like, there's not much development. And when I say not much development, I mean not much positive development. Yeah, it's gonna be a long time before you experience that. Like, I don't think anything positive relating to COVID happened until, like, May or June, when things started to really, like, calm down. And I was trying to be patient with everything when I recorded this video, because I was like, I know it's gonna be a while before anything good happens, and I was right. But, things did get better, and I'm extremely grateful for that. But, I don't know, the situation, it's just weird, because I don't see a way that this ends well. But also, I'm kind of scared because, like, it feels like the world has just been put on pause. Like, how are we gonna remember this 10 years from now? Like, hey, you remember that time everything just stopped for a little bit? I mean, yesterday they announced that they closed Disneyland, the NBA's been canceled, the MLB's been delayed, I think they canceled the NHL as well. Yeah, I mean, eventually you just get used to it. They started doing sports again, which is cool. I don't think they have full capacity for anything right now, but like, eventually we all just got used to it, and now we're in this kind of hybrid stage where, like, we're not locked down on quarantine anymore, but things aren't back to normal. And I feel like we've been in this state of, like, almost limbo for months now, where, like, we've been living with it. Like, there are events happening, but you have to wear masks and you have to get tested. That wasn't possible a year ago. A year ago, it was, like, no gatherings at all. But now we're actually having those gatherings. And I think it's really cool how we've learned to, like, not let this stop us. We've learned to live with it. Today is March 13th, okay? It's a Friday. Now, you might not be watching this on a Friday because I probably won't upload it today, but a week ago, March 6th, was the first time my school addressed the idea of possibly doing online school. And I, at least, was very shocked. It had been in conversation among students for a few days at that point, but no one thought it was actually going to happen. And even then, like, we knew there was a small chance, like, barely within the realm of possibility. And now it's happening. I don't know how online school is going to be. This is really terrible timing because my grades haven't been great this quarter, and I really need to pick them up because we're scheduled to go back to school right before the quarter ends. Online school has been weird for my grades. It was great for my grades last year because last year my school wasn't doing Zooms. They would just post the lesson every day and we would would have to do it. And I was still kind of in school mode, so I was doing it and my grades were going up. But now online school is horrible for me because I've gotten used to it and I just sleep through the lesson now, which, is fine because now my school's going back to full in person. I don't know if we're going to have a big group FaceTime kind of thing or they're just going to post a video, but it feels like we're in an apocalypse right now. And part of me is like, you know what, maybe people are overreacting. But then what if we're not? My parents bought a second fridge to stock up on food. So we don't know how long we're going to be in for. No, you're definitely overreacting. You got to remember, when I record this video, we were in the midst of the whole toilet paper crisis. We didn't realize we could just go into stores but wear a mask. I don't see how we're going to smoothly transition from this back into our regular lives. Because here's the thing, nobody's listening to the government warnings. Like, everyone's saying, hey, stay inside, and people aren't listening, which I get because isolation is scary, and, a lot of us, including myself, do want to continue living our lives with a sense of normalcy, but that's just not something we can do right now. I think a lot of people, myself included, have a habit of running from our problems, and a way of doing that right now is going outside and pretending that everything is fine and it's normal, but it's not, and that's just not something we can do right now. Unless you are really sick and you need medical help, you should probably stay inside. Yeah, I don't know how people did that and we're just cool with it. Like, I can somewhat understand breaking COVID regulations now because it's been around for so long and there's a vaccine and we've just gotten somewhat used to this whole thing. But like back then when we knew nothing about it, why were people breaking the rules already? But I think a lot of it comes down to ignorance because at the time that I recorded this video, I didn't think it was necessary to wear a mask. Again, I'm not an anti-masker. You gotta remember, this was the very beginning of the pandemic. I was on FaceTime with a friend during quarantine, and she was in the grocery store, and she took her mask off, and her mom yelled at her. I was like, why is her mom yelling at her? Like, what is the mask gonna do? But again, I didn't know at the time. So this really shows how far we've come and how much more educated we are. It's also crazy to see how fast this has all progressed, because in January, I was out of school for a couple days because I had the flu. And I remember like my first or second day back, I coughed in gym class and my friend was like, dude, stop coughing. I don't want your corona. And she was obviously joking, but like now when I hear someone cough, I get paranoid. I think we've gotten to the point where it's okay to cough again on the conditions that you're wearing a mask. But I think if you cough in public and you're not wearing a mask, people will still look at you weirdly. So I think that says a lot about how, we're starting to take this seriously. And it's not even that it's too little too late. Like, this is no one's fault. We could not have prevented this. And by we, I mean us as civilians. As for the government or other countries or whatever, I don't know. I don't know how that works. Turns out like Trump knew about the danger of coronavirus in January of 2020 and he did nothing about it. So at the time, when this came out of nowhere, I was like, oh, there's nothing we could have done about it. We're just stuck in this situation. No, there's stuff that could have been done about it. It just wasn't done. And that's because we had a horrible president at the time. I don't think we should be mad at the people in China or other countries that were sick and ended up bringing it here to America because they wanted help. You or I would have done the same thing if you were in their position. If you were sick in a foreign country, you would want to go home and get help. Home is where you're comfortable. Home is where you're familiar with. And especially when you don't feel well, that is the type of setting that you gravitate more towards. A place that you're comfortable, a place that you feel safe in. Yeah, I no longer feel that way. Back then I referred to it as gravitating towards what you're comfortable with. Now it's just called spreading a virus. You don't do that. What I said is the equivalent to, if you have coronavirus and the gym is a place that makes you happy, you should go to the gym because it's comforting. No, that's gonna spread the virus. And I think that, the fact that people are still going outside and some people are either in denial of it or just plain ignorant towards this whole situation, I don't think that's their fault. I think that's human nature. No, now that's their fault. 500,000 people in the US have died from this. If you were breaking COVID guidelines in 2021, there's something wrong with you. I mean, it was an issue last year, but now more than ever, especially since things are getting better, you guys are ruining it. Because I'm now just starting to accept it. I don't want to, think this is real either, because it is a scary situation. Nothing like this has happened in my lifetime, at least that I remember. I remember this morning my dad was talking about going to the supermarket later, and my mom suggested that he go to Stop and Shop. And he said something along the lines of, well, I went yesterday and it was so busy. He said that he hadn't seen a supermarket that busy since 9/11. And he explained that the reason for this was because on September 11th, before we got the information that we knew now about the attacks, people thought that New York City might shut down, and they thought that, they might have to stock up on food. And he said that that was the last time the supermarkets were this packed. And there's a part of me that's wondering how much of this is danger and how much of this is hysteria, because I think some of my fear comes from the fact that, you know, the supermarkets are empty and everyone's like impulsively buying stuff very quickly. I think we're all instilling fear in each other by doing this, and I think that we do need to calm down, but at the same time we should still be cautious. Yeah, no, I think that at the time I wasn't scared of the virus. I was scared of running out of food. Because, like, my whole family and I were staying inside. I didn't think I was going to get it. But I was very scared of, like, us running out of food and having to, like, ravage for food. And I think that it did take a similar trajectory to 9/11, where eventually people did calm down. It was just a heat of the moment kind of thing where people reacted very impulsively. Which is why it is difficult to know how to act in a time like this. Because, you know, the rational part of me wants to take a deep breath and say, okay, you know, maybe everything will be all right. And then the more irrational side of me is like, no, we need to stock up on toilet paper because I'm not wiping my ass with printer paper. Yeah, those are kind of just my thoughts on this whole situation. I want to know what you guys think. Are there cases prevalent where you live? What are you planning on doing about this? Yeah, I hope you did enjoy this video. I know this was a little bit different from what I normally do. I know my normal videos are a bit more lighthearted than this, and, you know, I'll return to those videos pretty soon. This is just something I wanted to get off my chest and speak about in a video. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Alright, so that's it for that video. So let me give my final thoughts. I think that we've come a long way since I recorded that. I think we're handling it a lot better now, and we're much more equipped to handle it. You gotta remember, this was during a time when coronavirus tests were like very scarce, and now the tests are much more common. I've gotten tested 3 times and I only needed it like once, and the one time that I did need it was because I came in contact with someone that came in contact with it. I wasn't even in direct contact with it, and I'm definitely much more relaxed about it. Like yesterday I hung out with a friend that had coronavirus. Not, he doesn't still have it, but like he had it like 3 weeks ago. But like back then I probably wouldn't go near anyone who had it at all. But yeah, that's gonna be all for this video. I hope you guys learned something from this. This was really fun to make, to just, you know, go down memory lane and look at how far we've come and look at everything that's happened. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.